Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. You can unclench your cheeks. Whew. Whew. The Miami Hurricanes beat Notre Dame 27-24 to open their season 1-0, their first top 10 victory since they beat Notre Dame back in 2017. So we're talking, I mean, geez Louise, we're almost talking 10 years here. 8 years in between top 10 victories. It was looking a lot easier than it ended up being. There's going to be a lot of discussion about the coaching, and we'll get into it. But let us not forget, just task at hand, let us not forget the main thing. The Irish, Notre Dame, that fan base, and the Canes win. That's the number one thing. Do not lose the plot. Celebrate your team, okay, and be happy with this. Because big national TV in your building, the entire country watching, bitter rival, the corpse of Lou Holtz, sitting up there in his luxury box, dribbling all over himself, gets to go home with a loss. He probably wouldn't know what the results are anyway. But either way, don't worry about Daffy Duck up there. Look at Jimmy Johnson cranking up the old horn there. You had all the royalty in the building. Ray Lewis, Devin Hester, Michael Irvin's always there. Michael Irvin, I mean, his fandom to the Canes is like none other. But man, a celebratory one. But I thought for a second there we were gonna be in for a rough night of drinking. I thought we were in there for a rough night of drinking, but Carter Davis from FAU, hoot, mother bleeping hoot, comes in here. We're all introduced to him at the same time. We all see that 4 out of 11. What? And then the first thing that we get from him is, no, it's not really his fault, but it was a muffed handle, and so we don't get to see him. We just see that stat, and so it's just in your mind the entire time. You're like, oh boy, okay. So this is gonna come down to this kid's boot, and we have no idea. Like, this is the big stakes. This is not Boca Raton, and hey, big nuts on the table. He hits the big time kick today, 47 yards. I know that in the NFL they're kicking 60-yarders like they're going out of style. This is a college kicker on a big stage, and he booted the out of that kick, and good on him. Big time kick. Never doubted you. Never, Carter. But man, this game, I mean, it was such a – these are really hard ones because, like, you're trying to get yourself – you're such a glass case of emotions all over the place because you're going for – because this was like you went from ass kicking to like, then you feel like you're getting screwed, and then all of a sudden, oh no, disaster striking. You're having flashbacks of last year. Everybody's mother bleeping Mario Cristobal. And then finally you ultimately end up and pull out the win. So you're tangled in all and pulled in all these places. But you end up winning. That's the big thing here. Okay, you come away with the win. Now you get to have a couple of weeks to set up for a rivalry game. You're in a good place. A lot of new guys showed up in a big place today. But honestly, for me, my MVP, Hurricane Bane. Ruben Bane. Back healthy, back full go. That dude was an absolute frigging monster today. I mean, just so damn good. Him and Akeem Mesidor at the end of this game getting to CJ Carr when the kid showed a lot of moxie. A lot. I mean, you want to talk about Mario kind of coaching with mouse balls the entire second half. This kid had his stones drop in the middle of this game. I mean, he was coming up with some, even his first touchdown where like it was like he ran 25 yards back and ends up making the Canes secondary fry their brain, and they just let dude just sit there wide open in the end zone. He just came up with a lot of big plays for a freshman. You could see, like, it seemed like it took a little bit for him to settle in, and I really thought this whole game flipped in this second half where the Canes just had this incredible monster 12-play drive, took up like half the third quarter, ran it down their friggin' throat with Mark Fletcher, and just bullying them, looking fantastic. You were getting big blocks by wide receivers. You were just manning up. Marty Brown, I mean, just a behemoth in there to just take all of the Irish into the end zone. And I really felt like when the Canes went up 21-7, I'm like, this puppy is over, dude. They just feel like they're manhandling him. And then the next drive, the Canes go out there, and, you know, the defense gets this kid. He looks just completely rattled. 3 throws. It was like 30 seconds. Canes are getting the ball back. You know, but then you had this one play on 3rd and 1 where Brown slips, rolls up on Markel Bell, and you're just like, oh man, that wasn't fantastic. I don't like that. And I don't know. It felt like a very queasy. You're just like, all right, that. It should be fine. You know, the Canes also got a penalty. You're just like, yeah, all right. It should be okay. It should be okay. Then they show that dribbling Lou Holtz, and you're just like, all right. Well, I don't love that. And then the refs just got on their complete bullshit today because they were calling just unbelievable penalties all over the place. They called pass interference on the Canes where, like, the ball, they caused the contact and it had no shot at getting catched. And you're just like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. We're doing that. So it goes from a 1st and 20 to they reset. They wipe away a huge holding call. And then, you know, Carr gets it down to the goal line situation, and the Canes come up with a big stop, and they called unnecessary roughness, and you're just like, huh? I just watched football. That's, you know, like, I hate this stuff when we're doing this with like we always dealt with the Amari Carter stuff with targeting nonstop. So I'm used to extracurriculars and things getting a little wonky. This was just football, and the refs giving them just basically another free down. It's just such a demoralizing thing, and I really it felt like, you know, the job was in already. It really did. It felt like, all right, this isn't going to be good. So they get it to within a touchdown. The Canes get the ball back, and just nothing doing for the Canes. And Carson Beck ends up getting sacked. We'll get to him in just a second because he had a really, really strong first half and set the tone for this game. But, I mean, just ironically, like, it just felt like Mario just didn't. He's like, okay, kid, we paid millions of dollars to have you here. Don't trust you at all. But, yeah, 3rd and 7. Dude just puts a spin move on Maui Noah. There was, like, nobody coming with the blitz. And Carson Beck gets sacked. And you're just like, oh, all right, fine. And it really felt like momentum was swinging all the way to Notre Dame. But then McGrath on the broadcast, she's like, yeah, this O-line looks really tired. You're like, oh, kind of like that. And the Miami Hurricanes get, like, the defensive play they need in this game to, like, swing it back in their favor, take back control, and Damar Brown jumps a route, causes a deflection, balls up in the air. I think it was Keontae Scott who then tries to go and get it. He can't bring it down and then ends up kicking the ball back in the air. It never touches the ground. And Ruben Bain ends up with the football. Huge INT. Felt like you needed a momentum piece, and you got it. Like, just right on the doorstep there for the Canes. I'm like, good. I love this. So you get that, and then Cristobal just like 3 Fletcher runs and set up for the field goal to put him up 10. And I'm like, all right, I didn't love that. You know, I get it. it's like I get it. Just stop the bleeding. Give yourself a 2-score lead, but I didn't love it. And it just felt like the Canes had such a great drive in the first half, man's drive in the first half. And I don't know. It just felt like when they went up to 2 touchdowns, Marcus Ball was like, I'm going to use the next whatever amount of time it is to absolutely not risk anything. And I'm just like, you got this veteran quarterback who's trying to prove his worth to be an NFL pick. He's made some stone throws while taking some big-time hits. We got to get to maybe one of the greatest catches you'll see ever in the first half. But just completely, like, didn't utilize him at all in the second half. It was crazy. And I get it, like, you know, this definitely isn't the most explosive group of Canes receivers you've ever seen in your life. Now, that being said, there were some monster plays today by them, and it does seem like you do potentially have I don't want to use this term star, but you got a real weapon emerging in Malachi Toney. I mean, he looks like he could be something really, really impressive. So that's true. But the rest of them, you're kind of like, I don't know about this one. We'll see. But anyway, so, you know, you get conservative and you're just like, all right, that's fine. And the Canes defense responded pretty well. They forced Carr into an intentional grounding. So, you know, it was kind of a wash like this whole half. You're just like, all right, all you need now. It felt like Notre Dame's momentum was kind of stifled a little bit, but you just need a good drive, and the Canes couldn't even kill a minute of clock, and you're just like it just felt like, oh my God, this is happening right here. Just couldn't do anything. And yeah, there was some contact and things like that. And it just felt like no calls were going the Canes' way whatsoever. So you had that on top of it just to get everybody's irritation go. And then Carr hits intangibles for like a 64-yard bomb ski. And you're just like, oh no. They, of course, tie it up like 2 plays later. And you're just like, you just want to grab the bottle. Like, my cheeks went immediately from relaxed to and it was rough, man. It was a rough feeling when they tied that thing up at 24 pieces. I'm like, if they don't win this game, man, I know Mario's not going anywhere, but man, people are gonna feel some feelings. They're still feeling some feelings. I want you to just don't enjoy the win, but I get it because you went from a party to survival. But still, don't take for granted. It's Notre Dame. It's a top 10 win. It opens up the season. Let that sink in and feel good. The Canes get the ball back. They finally get a call. Carson Beck, he tries to go deep. They call pass interference after he takes a shot. That was nice to see. But after a couple of tries by him, they start running the ball. They get a nice big 8-yard run, puts them in field goal position, get a little bit of extra push, and Davis hits the go-ahead kick. Canes come out. They get 2 big sacks. That was all she wrote. You can finally exhale, sigh of relief. So, yeah. First half of this game, you know, really, really exciting. I thought, like, you got to see a lot of good stuff in the defense. I thought Ruben Bain, like I said, probably for my money, the player of the game. I just thought that he was sensational. He felt like he was causing havoc. He just looks healthy all the way. So you also had a huge fumble recovery for the Canes, which should have also turned into points, but the Canes muffed the kick. Obviously, too, I should mention it was like raining a monsoon before the game, so you weren't playing on the greatest track either. I mean, it's crazy. But the Canes, they get on the board after a couple back and forths, and it really was, they give it in the hands of Mark Fletcher to set the tone, but Carson Beck finally found a go-to receiver that he enjoyed, and it was Malachi Toney, true freshman from Liberty City, American Heritage. I'm calling him Tony Montana. Say hello to my little friend. This dude is out here. And I mean, he really was. He was like all over the place, getting open. He was the only guy who was getting open all over the place. And obviously the Canes had a lot of big transfers who came in to try and bolster this receiving core, because you lose so many targets and you lose the number 1 pick, and you're like, all right, who are going to be these playmakers who step up? You feel like you're going to lean more into your running identity, which was good last year, but obviously the heroics of Cam Ward became kind of the identity of the team. But this was kind of an odd one because, you just had these feelings of like, look, the Canes had to play in so many games last year that they had to pull out, and this was starting to eerily feel a lot like Syracuse, where you're just like, oh, and obviously Syracuse, you didn't get to hold it as long, and it was even a 3-score lead, but you're just like, man, dude, is this coach ever gonna get to the point where you can trust him to get over this stuff? So I don't know, but man, Malachi Toney and Carson Beck look like a hell, and you're just like, oh, man, Beck was hitting some big time throws, dude. He was sliding in the pocket nice. He had some movement. I would have liked to put the ball in his hands a little bit more. You're paying him enough money. Like, that's the kind of the odd thing about all this, and we're acting like, nah, don't worry about it, dude. We're not doing that here. Notre Dame would end up tying it up. We talked about that a little bit earlier about C.J. Carr had that incredible running around touchdown pulled out of his ass. And then, dude, I mean, the play of the game came right before halftime. The Canes were marching down the field, put some really nice long drives together early in this game. Like, right after the Canes got up 21-7, you're just like, man, what happened here? I don't get it. But the Canes were executing. They were mixing things up. They had a nice mix today. Lyles didn't play. I think he got banged up. But, Fletcher and Brown both pretty damn solid in this game, especially Fletcher. I mean, the Canes didn't have like a monster game running the football. It wasn't a monster offensive game. It was also a game that went from like super clean to super penalized, mostly on the Canes side, I will say. What do we finish with at penalties? Penalties. I mean, it ended up being pretty even. 5 penalties for Notre Dame, but 2 of those were intentional groundings. And then they had the big pass interference call. And those were all like really like key ones late. It felt like in the midst of the game as the comeback was happening, like all those were on Miami. So there were some backbreakers. Turnover battle. The Canes did not. They played a turnover-free game, so that was huge. So you give them some discipline on that. But anyway, Canes are marching down the field, and then Carson Beck throws a pass. Dude, he was under some heat. He's on his back foot. So he throws this ball up, and C.J. Daniels goes full OBJ. One-handed, unbelievable touchdown grab. You're just like, when he made a catch like that, you were like, dude, this is going to be the Canes night. Like, rare are the times you get a play like that and you're just like, oh, you're not winning that game. And it felt immediately like, oh, this is the Canes night. For CJ Daniels to come up with like a play, and it was going all over social media. People were going bananas for it. It was awesome. Really, really just, welcome to the Miami Hurricanes, CJ. Like, that was friggin' unbelievable. They reviewed it. It was so a catch. Didn't need to be reviewed. I think the refs just wanted to go see it again because it was awesome. But it was crazy. And then, they go to Mario Cristobal even after that moment, and he's very unsatisfied, talking to, I don't know which reporter it was. They all basically had the same last name on the broadcast crew today. That was kind of weird. If you ever wanted to know, a broadcast crew is all for Notre Dame, go look at this one. But, man, that, I was so hyped when that happened. That freaking catch was unbelievable. That's like one of those where like you're seeing everybody go crazy on social media. You're getting a bunch of tags. I can't even imagine. Building tonight, should mention, for the rain, for all this talk that Notre Dame was going to have a big presence there. I did not notice that at all. Now, I know that they got off to a very slow start, so maybe other people in the building can speak better to this. I felt like that was like people were talking like this was going to be like a 50-50, 60-40 Miami Notre Dame split. And other than them showing CJ Carr's parents all the time, I barely noticed Notre Dame like at all. And I get it. They were basically behind the 8 ball in this game for the majority, and they got off to a very slow start. So I'm sure it was hard for them to drum something up, but I thought the Canes fans showed out strong today. The orange out looked strong. The legends were in the building. It was Goosey's galore, dude. Quite frankly, it was awesome. So yeah, I mean, like, look, it was a wheezing finish after a rip-roaring start, but they got the job done. And ultimately, right now, this is a fan base that needs to be just happy with the result, dude. Like, that's a huge one. You beat a legacy rival, not a team you take on a lot, so you got to cherish these ones. And they were in the national championship last year, and you just beat them in your barn. Like, and a lot of new guys stepped up today. Like, a lot of new, like, yes, some guys who are true freshmen showed out. Ruben Bain, who's been here, looked like his old self again and healthy self again. Your offensive line, for the most part, held up strong today outside of some key moments, but mostly did their thing today, had some very elongated drives. The secondary, was holding up until, the Canes just felt like they played super conservative and soft after like taking it to them. I don't know why they relented on that. It's so strange to me, and people will wonder that. And again, it's going to be something that we're all going to dissect all week long. I should mention I am on the air on Labor Day on the flagship on 104.3 FM, so we'll have that all for you. But celebrate, dude. Celebrate. Take the edge off tonight. It's Labor Day. You guys aren't working. I'm going to be. Feel good. And, oh, man. That makes you feel grizzled. That's tough. That is tough. Enjoy this one, man. And also, Notre Dame.